Have you ever noticed how your knees seem to know the weather forecast better than the local news? Does that first real snap of autumn air feel like someone poured cold lead into your joints, making every step a struggle you simply didn't have just a few weeks ago? Imagine waking up on a frosty January morning, and instead of feeling that familiar, heavy stiffness that makes you want to stay under the covers, you actually feel limber, warm, and ready to greet the day with a walk. It might sound like a dream, but today, we are going to talk about why that dream is much closer to reality than you think. Many of us are told that aching joints in the winter are just an unavoidable part of getting older, a sort of tax we pay for the years we have lived. But what if I told you that while the thermometer is dropping, there are hidden factors in your daily routine, things you might even think are helping you, that are actually turning up the volume on your pain? It is not just the cold itself that is the enemy. It is often a combination of hidden culprits, like specific foods we gravitate toward for comfort, or a subtle change in how our blood circulates when the air turns crisp. In this video, we are going to uncover the real reasons the cold seasons hurt so much and look at the surprising traps that are stiffening your joints right now. More importantly, I am going to show you the simple, life-changing shifts you can make to regain your mobility and comfort. Because growing older doesn't mean giving up, it means using smarter strategies. Before we jump into these secrets, if you care about staying healthy and independent as the years roll by, please consider subscribing to our channel and turning on notifications. We share the kind of senior health tips that often get overlooked in busy doctor visits, but make all the difference in your daily quality of life. And I would love to hear from you. Are you watching from the United States, the United Kingdom, Canada, or somewhere else? Drop a comment below with where you are from. I am always curious to see how far our community of vibrant seniors reaches. Now, let's talk about why the cold seems to settle right into our bones. The first thing we need to address is something called barometric pressure. You can think of the air around us like a giant, invisible hand that is constantly pressing against our bodies. When a cold front moves in, that atmospheric pressure drops. It is like that invisible hand eases up its grip. This might sound like a good thing, but for your joints, it is quite the opposite. When the external pressure drops, it allows the tissues inside your body, the tendons, muscles, and especially the fluid-filled sacs in your joints, to expand. Imagine a small balloon inside your knee. When the pressure outside the balloon drops, the balloon expands. That expansion puts extra pressure on the nerves that are already sensitized by years of use or arthritis. This is why you can often feel a storm coming in your hips or your lower back before the first snowflake even falls. It is a real biological response, not just an old wives' tale. To help with this, you don't need to move to a tropical island. Simply keeping the joint warm with layers or a gentle heating pad can help stabilize that internal environment. It is about acknowledging that your body is reacting to the world around it and giving it the extra support it needs during those pressure shifts. Moving on to our next point, and this one is a bit like a car engine in the winter. Think about the oil in your car. When it is freezing outside, that oil gets thick and sluggish, right? Well, your joints have their own version of oil called synovial fluid. This beautiful, slippery liquid is what allows your bones to glide over each other without friction. In the warmer months, this fluid is thin and efficient. But when the temperature drops, that fluid can actually become more viscous or thicker. Imagine trying to hinge a gate that has thick, cold grease in the joints. It takes more effort to move, and it feels stiff. This is why you might feel like you are made of wood when you first get out of bed in December. The secret here is that motion is lotion. We often want to huddle up and stay still when it is cold, but that is actually the worst thing for thick synovial fluid. Gentle, rhythmic movement, even while you are still sitting in your favorite chair, helps warm up that fluid and thin it out, making your movements much smoother. It is never too late to start a gentle stretching routine. Even 5 minutes can change the chemistry of your joints for the entire day. Now, let's talk about a hidden culprit that almost everyone overlooks during the winter, and that is dehydration. You might think of dehydration as a summer problem, something that happens when you are sweating under a hot sun. But in the winter, we lose a lot of moisture just by breathing in the dry, heated air of our homes. Plus, we don't feel as thirsty when we aren't hot. Here is the problem for your joints. Your cartilage, that rubbery stuff that cushions your bones, is made up of about 70 to 80% water. When you are even slightly dehydrated, your body pulls water away from the joints to protect your vital organs, like your heart and brain. Your cushions literally start to dry out, making every movement feel like bone on bone. I remember a gentleman I worked with named Arthur who complained of terrible hip pain every November. He thought it was just the weather. We realized he had stopped drinking water because he didn't want to use the bathroom as often when it was cold. Once he started sipping warm herbal teas and water throughout the day, his pain levels dropped significantly within a week. He wasn't getting older, he was just getting thirsty. So, keep a glass of water or a mug of warm tea nearby. Your joints will thank you for the lubrication. If you are finding these tips useful so far, please give this video a thumbs up. It really helps spread the word to other seniors who might be struggling in silence. And if you haven't yet, do subscribe for more insights. We are just getting started on this journey toward a more comfortable winter. The next thing we have to discuss is the temptation of winter comfort foods. When the sky is gray, it is so easy to reach for a piece of pie, a sugary roll, or an extra serving of white pasta. These foods feel like a warm hug in the moment, but they are secretly fueling a fire in your joints. Refined sugars and simple carbohydrates cause a spike in your insulin, which triggers the release of pro-inflammatory chemicals called cytokines. Think of these as tiny messengers that travel through your blood and tell your joints to swell up and ache. A study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that high sugar intake is directly linked to increased joint pain and stiffness in people over 60. It is not that you can never have a treat, but if your joints are screaming at you in the winter, that daily sugary snack might be the reason. Try swapping the sugar for anti-inflammatory powerhouses like walnuts or berries. Berries are packed with antioxidants that act like a cooling rain on that internal fire. You might be surprised at how much better your knees feel when you cut back on the sugar for just a few days. It is about giving your body the right fuel to fight the cold, rather than fuel that adds to the problem. Another major factor is the lack of vitamin D. During the cold months, we spend more time indoors, and even when we go outside, we are covered from head to toe. The sun is also lower in the sky, meaning we get very little of the ultraviolet light needed for our skin to produce vitamin D. This vitamin is absolutely crucial for calcium absorption and bone health, but it also plays a massive role in how we perceive pain. Low levels of vitamin D have been linked to chronic muscle and joint pain. In fact, many people who think they have worsening arthritis in the winter are actually just suffering from a vitamin D deficiency. It is like your body's alarm system becomes more sensitive when your vitamin D levels are low. Talk to your doctor about a simple blood test or look into a high-quality supplement. Keeping those levels up is like putting a protective shield around your nervous system. Imagine walking through your day with a higher threshold for pain and more resilient bones, simply by addressing a vitamin gap that most people ignore. Let's talk for a moment about muscle guarding. When we get cold, what is the first thing we do? We hunch our shoulders up to our ears, we clench our jaws, and we tense our entire bodies. This is a natural reflex to try and generate heat, but it is exhausting for your muscles and devastating for your joints. When your muscles are constantly tight, they pull on your joints, misaligning them and causing extra wear and tear. This is why you might have a tension headache or a stiff neck after a short walk in the cold. It is not just the temperature, it is how your body is reacting to it. I want you to try a simple technique. Next time you feel that chill, consciously take a deep breath and drop your shoulders. Remind yourself that you are safe and that tensing up won't actually make you warmer for long. Use a scarf to keep your neck warm, as that area is a major trigger for the whole body tension response. By keeping your muscles relaxed, you take the unnecessary pressure off your joints, allowing them to move as they were intended to. Now, as we look at all these factors, from barometric pressure to the foods we eat, it might feel a bit unsettling to learn that so many things are working against us. But remember, knowledge is power. Now that you know these hidden culprits, you can make simple changes to protect your health. You don't need to overhaul your entire life overnight. Even small tweaks like drinking one more glass of water or choosing a handful of nuts over a cookie can spare your joints a lot of agony. Think of your body as a fine-tuned instrument. It might need a little more calibration in the winter, but it is still capable of beautiful things. You might start to notice less stiffness in the mornings and more energy on your walks once you begin addressing these areas. Imagine being the person who can still go out for that brisk morning walk or play on the floor with your grandkids without the fear of how much it will hurt later. That is the power of using smarter strategies. To recap our journey today, remember that your joint pain in the cold is often a result of shifting air pressure, thickening joint fluid, hidden dehydration, inflammatory foods, and a lack of vitamin D. To combat this, keep your joints warm to stabilize the pressure, stay moving to keep your internal oil thin, drink plenty of water even if you aren't thirsty, opt for anti-inflammatory snacks, and keep an eye on your vitamin D levels. It is all about giving your body the support it needs during a challenging season. I want to leave you with a thought. Your body is always trying to heal and strengthen itself. No matter what age you are, your cells are constantly renewing, and your system is looking for ways to find balance. Growing older is inevitable, but growing weaker or living in constant pain doesn't have to be. You have so much more control over your health outcomes than the world often gives you credit for. I know that living with aches and pains can be scary and discouraging. It can make the world feel smaller as you start to avoid activities you once loved, but you are not alone in this, and it is never too late to turn things around. Every small step you take, every better food you choose, and every moment you spend moving your body is a victory for your future freedom. One meal, one step, and one choice at a time, you are taking charge of your well-being. Now, I would love to hear from you. Which of these tips surprised you the most? Was it the connection between sugar and joint pain, or perhaps the role of dehydration in the winter? Do you have any personal tricks that help you get through the cold months comfortably? Share your story or any questions in the comments below. I read every single one, and we all learned so much from each other's experiences. This community is here to support you. If this video helped you or opened your eyes even a little, please hit the like button. It really helps our message reach more people who might be struggling with these same issues. And don't forget to subscribe and turn on those notifications so you never miss out on these science-backed tips for thriving in your golden years. Your health and your independence are worth fighting for, and we are here to provide the tools you need. If you are still with me and you are determined to stay strong and mobile this winter, type a number 1 in the comments to affirm it. If you have any doubts or questions, type a 0. I appreciate all of your feedback, and I want to know how I can best help you on this journey. Stay strong, stay healthy, and remember that your independence is carried by your legs. Keep taking those small steps for your health today, because they truly do add up to giant strides in your freedom tomorrow. I look forward to seeing you in the next video.